A ranger who commands the respect of nature. Hawking predators obey his every order. A menagerie of powerful beasts are at his beck and call. But what terrible creature does Minsk, the beloved ranger, hold in the highest esteem? A bear, tiger, maybe an elephant? Nope. The humble hamster. Greetings, Vorthos fans, and welcome to another episode of FNL Friday Night Lore, the series where we pair the lore of Magic the Gathering with the physical cards that you can win. Stay tuned to the end of this video to learn how you can enter for your chance to win this week's giveaway, as well as learn the winner of last week's FNL prize. Welcome back, everyone! I'm Simon here for the Ether Hub, bringing you more Magic the Gathering lore. Well, this time, it's actually Magic the Gathering and Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition lore, as we merge the fandoms of these two exceedingly nerdy franchises in Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, Magic the Gathering's latest set with a crossover theme with Dungeons & Dragons. Today, we'll be taking a look at a rather strange character who has become quite iconic and sort of a meme to players in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We'll be going over the story of Minsc, the beloved ranger, who is getting their own card in MTG's latest crossover set. Let's learn about the card itself, and then we'll dive into the character's lore, seeing how his story has impacted this card's design. Remember to support the channel by leaving this video a like, subscribing, and of course, ticking that notification bell. And now, let's get on to the lore. Minsc, Beloved Ranger is a 3/3 legendary human ranger for Naya colors, so red, green, and white mana. When Minsc, Beloved Ranger enters the battlefield, create Boom, a legendary 1/1 red hamster creature token with trample and haste. You can pay X, and until your next turn, target creature you control has a base power and toughness of X and becomes a giant in addition to its other types. I kinda love this card, guys. Not sure how strong it is, and it having shard color pairings, it'll always be a little tricky to play early, especially as this card's more of an early game aggressive card for those types of decks. Still, it's 4/4 worth of stats for only 3 mana with an added steroid benefit on the side. Although its second ability isn't really a steroid because it doesn't pump, but rather X becomes that creature's new stats. So it really gets a lot of value when it's played on the weakest creature possible. Still, it has its uses. Pumping up this hamster token you make is clearly a solid move. But I also think about pairing this with a commander like Rogrock, son of Roga. It'll be fast and aggressive, which Minsk really loves. So yeah guys, this is the card, but what's the story behind it? Who is Minsc, Beloved Ranger? Minsk has quite the shrouded past, with not much being known of his time before appearing in Baulder's Gate as a berserker on a special mission. It's clear when you first meet Minsk that not everything is alright upstairs. He comes off very boisterous and forthcoming, but still, something's a bit off. It's not a stretch to say that Minsk is missing a few screws, if you catch my drift. He's not deficient, really, but more nuts, I guess is the best way to put it. This is really the only clear history we get from Minsk, as he explains that he experienced a traumatic head injury some time ago, which, when you meet this guy, it checks out. The timeline of this injury isn't clear, but he says it happened around the time he befriended a small hamster that he now calls Boo. Again, all of this clearly checks out. Despite his injury and strange choice of pets, Minsk has proven time and time again to be a stalwart ally, caring friend, and brave warrior. He has a rather stubborn view of justice and sees the world in black and white, good versus evil, and he always tries to do the right thing. First, let's explore this hamster companion of his a little bit more. Boo, as it's referred to. Minsk claims that Boo is no ordinary hamster, but rather a miniature space hamster. Yeah, you heard right, a space hamster. I had to do some research to make sure that this wasn't just some kind of like meme monster, and while they could be that to players, apparently space hamsters actually do exist in the lore. Typically, they're just hamsters but the size of brown bears, while Boo is the miniature variant of this creature, making it the size of a normal hamster, which to me, I don't know, doesn't that just make Boo a regular hamster? Please, D&D lore professionals, fill me in here in the comment section below on this whole miniature space hamster debate. Either way, this is what Minsk claims about his precious Boo, and we can pretty much just take his word on it. Whether hailing from space or not, Boo and Minsk's bond is one forged in combat. Boo is Minsk's trusted wartime companion, who he often and very loudly orders to go for the eyes, which has sort of become his unofficial catchphrase. Though small, Boo will viciously defend its friend by clawing and biting at their enemies, attempting to blind them. Minsk, in turn, would protect Boo with his very life, making them a formidable team despite some very obvious drawbacks. Mainly that Boo is a hamster. The main journeys Minsk and Boo would be involved in take place at Baulder's Gate, and they begin with a coming-of-age mission to be welcomed in as a berserker of the Ice Dragon Lodge in his hometown. Minsk wanted badly to join his brethren and regale stories of his accomplishments, but to do so, he first needed to successfully escort and protect a witch named Dynahair. He swore that no harm would come to her and believed that she could make him a famous warrior during this mission. But sadly, it didn't go exactly as Minsk planned. First, his charge was kidnapped by a band of gnolls, which led Minsk and Boo on a rampage through various gnoll camps in an attempt to recover the witch. Though strong and willing, the quest seemed impossible for just he and little Boo, so he returned to recruit fellow warriors of justice to join them in their glorious cause. Together with this band of heroes, aka players of Baulder's Gate, he managed to rescue his target, keeping Minsk's vow and honor intact. Still, no epic happy ending would come for Minsk and Boo, as their witch, Dynahair, was eventually killed by an evil mage who captured then tortured the adventuring party. Minsk would see some level of revenge, but nothing could dispel the feeling of grief that engulfed the warrior in Boo. He believed himself to be a failure, not worthy of joining the lodge or continuing on as a hero. But upon returning home, he heard stories told of his accomplishments, of how he bravely faced endless gnolls and ventured into a dark mage's dungeon for his charge. Though ultimately unsuccessful, his feats were still no less impressive. He was welcomed back as a hero, with bards singing ballads of Minsk and Boo. Still, his personal failings fell heavy on Minsk. In his eyes, he couldn't call himself a hero. With a strict good versus bad view of the world, Minsk believed evil was winning and that he played a role in that, so he set out to regain his good guy points, performing countless good deeds in order to shift the scale back to heroism. Of course, these deeds made Minsk and Boo even more famous to the people of Baulder's Gate. But it was also around this time, at the peak of his popularity after founding a guild of his very own, that Minsk mysteriously went missing. Shortly after, the people of Baulder's Gate erected a life-size statue of Minsk holding little Boo to remember the beloved ranger, which would become the name of this landmark. Sadly, thieves and miscreants defaced the statue by removing its hands and the hamster it held. Luckily, for everyone involved, the statue was eventually restored. It's lucky the hand was returned to this statue because this was no mere monument, but in fact the real Minsk and Boo under a petrification spell. It's not known how Minsk and Boo found themselves in this state or who was responsible, but it's clear that if his hand wasn't returned, what the result would have been once he was finally freed. Yikes. But freed they eventually were after a wild mage accidentally blasted the petrified pair with some of her wild spells. This mage was actually Delana, who also appears on cards in MTG's Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Now freed, Minsk, Boo, and Delana, and a brand new band of companion heroes, continued his work on a campaign of justice. This saw the group defending Baulder's Gate from all matters of monsters, from vampires, cultists, zombies, and even giants. Each time Minsk and Boo proving the better match. During these adventures, Boo once accidentally drank a potion of giant growth, transforming the miniature space hamster into a normal brown bear-sized space hamster with all the added strength benefits on top. This is also why the actual card Minsk Beloved Ranger has this buffing effect as a mechanic. The whole design of this card is to create this little 1/1 hamster token, which you can then buff and turn into a giant, just like when Boo drank this potion in the lore to become a giant hamster. After all of the adventures in the Forgotten Realms card designs, this one to me seems to be one of the most flavorful. Absolutely love it. Needless to say, there are far too many glorious tales to cover in this single video. But now, Minsk was widely known by all as a true hero. And finally, he could turn to his hamster companion and see it for himself. His cause of justice was a valued one, and he looked back on his deeds with an unwavering smile. And there you guys have it, the exciting story of one of the, well, strangest characters from Dungeons & Dragons lore to make its way over to Magic the Gathering in Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Now that we know Minsk's story, are you interested in making giant hamsters in your next commander deck? Let me know in the comment section below. And commenting on this video not only helps with the algorithm on YouTube side, which I really do appreciate, but it also gives you a chance to win today's Friday Night Lore giveaway. One lucky fan will be chosen to win their own copy of Minsk's beloved Ranger along with a Boo token card. Come on. You gotta do it for the Boo Hamster token card, right? All you have to do to enter is leave a comment on this video, leave it a like, be a subscriber, and share this video on your preferred social media platform. I'll select a comment at random and then announce the winner at the following FNL video. Which actually reminds me, last week's winner of the Ebon Death Draco Lich giveaway is Nathaniel Asbury. Congrats on winning FNL. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. If you enjoyed this content and want to support us, please leave this video a like, comment, subscribe, and of course share it with all your friends. And until next time, guys, see ya!